just to follow up on your previous point also, it's great to have someone in the room there with you because number one, it's very, very hard to read something out loud with expression unless you've got an audience. Yeah. And I found that with one of my authors who did record themselves, and they took themselves away to a cottage in the Blue Mountain for 3 days. This was an 80,000 word book. When I was listening through to his recording, I could tell exactly what time of the day it was.
Oh, yeah.
Because there would be this lovely enthusiastic voice in the morning, which would start to flag a little bit toward lunchtime, and then it'd be a bit slow and a bit flat while his lunch was digesting. Oh, yeah. And then he would come up again in the mid-afternoon, and then you could tell by the time it was evening and he'd just run out of gas.
Yeah.
It wasn't that critical, but you find that when you're doing the narration, finish at a certain part of the book, finishing at chapter number 10, and it's just about time for bed, and like you're already half asleep. Then when chapter 11 starts, it's first thing in the morning, and you're as bright as a button, and so people are going, "Oh wow, okay." Affect the flow of the way the book reads.
I think what you're saying is you having a second person in the room makes you feel like you have an audience, so you can be a little bit more peppy and upbeat in terms of delivering your content. But then that second person acts as a sounding board to say, hey, you're a little bit tired, take a break, or do this, or get up, and like almost like coaching and mentoring from the sidelines.
That's exactly right. And the other beautiful thing too, of course, is that I'm watching the equipment to make sure the recording is still succeeding. Mm-hmm. So very simple things like making sure it's still recording. Mm-hmm. On top of that, what happens all of the time is, how do you pronounce this word? So you've written your book and you've cited various authors. Some of them from Eastern Europe with names that are 26 characters long. Yeah. And because you've written them, that's all fine. But when you've got to say them out, it's kind of, what do you reckon? How do you reckon we should pronounce this, Dave? Or do we refer to this person just as Dr. D and refer to the notes later? Or so there's little bits and pieces like that around pronunciation. If I think the author has not quite got the sentence or the paragraph together, okay, then I will generally stop them and say, look, in my opinion, we've got what we've got, but maybe. How did you feel about that little passage? Did you actually feel that all your pauses and things were in the right spot, that you actually really feel you nailed that little bit? And in most cases, they'll say, look, there's no harm. We'll just record it again. Yeah. And then when we come back later on, we can just choose which one was the best one.
Yeah, yeah.
They're the sort of things that go on in editing, yeah.
Yeah, Amy was just saying how that because our authors, their books are originally recorded by speaking, it's actually really easy to read for the audiobook and sounds really natural because the book is written in spoken language. So, yeah, totally.